Hi, I'm Sonya Rose Duncan, professional psychological astrologer, songstress, and as I think you all know by now, whistleblower. I'm here to invite you to level all the way up with psychological astrology and your cosmic guide to success in life and love, tailored exclusively and specifically for the progressive, critically thinking sister of this era.
Because, like I said, this is my kryptonite. I'm a Gemini. I'm a dual sign, and keeping the brain clear, especially during this sensitive time in a woman's life, is not easy. Okay, so I've told you the remit, which is, in my opinion, in from where I'm standing, really is and should be to find wholeness and to find a true identity, to stop being the chameleon and to have a firm sense of self. To me, that's the number one mission, becoming the creative genius and manifesting that and becoming a demigod on earth and uniting immortality with mortality can wait. First, they need, as a Pisces, you need a solid sense of self. Now, I've said that the ruler is Neptune, very moody guy, yeah. Although, some would argue it's a female because Pisces is a feminine sign, yeah. So, yeah, well, lady or Lord Poseidon or Neptune, yeah, real moody, ebbs and flows like the tides, can be an absolute sweetheart one moment and a raging sea monster the next, yeah, bringing tsunamis and turbulence and everything. And this speaks volumes about Pisces. Then we spoke about the Dionysian triangle and the fact that for Pisces, it's inevitable, whether you're a black woman Pisces or not, or from another tribe, this triangle will appear in your life one way or another, sooner or later. At different points in your life, you will be either in the victim position or the sacrifice seat, as Ken says, and you will have to grapple with being symbolically or metaphorically or even materially pulled apart, yeah. And then the next phase, you can become the savior and you can marry for the world and rush around being the good Samaritan to all, yeah. And the next turn of that triangle is the persecutor, where other people will see you as the bad guy, as the one who lies, who deceives, who exploits. Yeah? And this is the end of the triangle that is most difficult for a Pisces to own. As I said, for a Pisces, with all their wisdom and their ability to show us our shadow and to tune into the collective unconscious, their own shadow is the hardest thing for them to see. Now, let's talk a bit about the unique manifestation of the Piscean saga in the Western Black woman. Well, if we take a look at Liza, yeah, the infinitely talented and brilliant Liza Minnelli, who of course is Judy Garland's daughter. It's a very Pisces story. Her mother was supremely accomplished and celebrated, but had various mental illnesses. Her upbringing was, shall we say, troubled, to say the very least. And she had a lot to live up to. Yeah. She herself, had moments of great acclaim and then grappled with substance abuse and emotional problems. Yeah. And like all Pisces, the biggest issues were and are the daddy issues. But we'll get on to the daddy issues of Pisces. I think this is the ultimate daddy issue sign. I mean, we can all have daddy issues, but Pisces takes it to the max. Yeah. And what we'll find is her own tribe and the larger society were quite forgiving of her Piscean foibles. Yeah. Whenever she took a fall and was in the victim seat again, as she was at the beginning of her life, there was always, a cheerleading squad cheering her on, and she always managed to replace one audience with another. Obviously she was the toast of Broadway in her iconic role as Sarah Bowles in Cabaret. And then she was resurrected. She still is an icon. She's still revered by many and slightly pitied by some. But again, as with the late Liz Tailor, her tribe and general society have been most forgiving and patient with her as she's gone through that arduous Pisces journey. Now, when we compare that to the remarkable, unique, supremely talented Nina Simone, well, the story's a little bit different, isn't it? Yeah. Of course, she wasn't allowed just to hone her craft and bring her genius to the world and concentrate on that. She, of course, had to take up the activist mantle and devote much of her art, her craft, to the civil rights cause. And, I don't know that much about her life because I just can't hold all the information in. But it was one where her own tribe were quite exploitative. Yeah. And the larger society, well, there was no denying her genius. But I don't think they were as forgiving or as supportive of her Piscean foibles and dragons she had to slay in quite the same way. And even though, like most Pisces, she can crack up, but she never quite disintegrates. They're surprisingly resilient, despite their, I think, their affinity for hypochondria. Yeah, although don't get it twisted, they really do have a hard time with the physical body. Lord Kronos, or Lady Kronos, really gives Pisces a hard time to try and bring them down to earth and force them to inject realism into their lofty goals and ideals and fantasy. Yeah. But yes, even though she, was not completely disintegrated by any means when she got older, and she died at 70, which is fairly early, but for her time, it's not bad going. Yeah, plenty of people died a lot younger than that from her era. She ended her life nowhere near as revered or acclaimed as Liza Minnelli is currently. Yeah, and as you can see from that quote, what kept me sane was knowing that things would change. And it was a question of keeping myself together, such a Piscean term, until they did. Yeah. Now, when we get a bit deeper into the Piscean themes and how they manifest in the Western Black woman, we will see that although this is a difficult sign for anyone from any tribe to try to live the best of, just become a demigod on earth, find identity and wholeness, bring it all together, be the best of all the signs that preceded you, be the creative genius and manifest your creative and artistic talents, yeah, and be the great seer, the mystic for everyone, yes, without disintegrating all by tea time on Sunday. It's a bit of a tall order. So yes, it is difficult, as I say, the most difficult remit for everyone from anywhere born under that sign. But unfortunately, the Western Black communities, the BC, Blackistan, however you want to call it seems like it was designed to drive Pisces into the insane end of their motifs. Yeah. Pisces has a great deal of trouble in separating self from the collective. Now, we know that the VC does not encourage individuality. Yes, it does not encourage a sense of I and me and what I want and what I need and what is my goal. Yes, it is the perfect breeding ground for someone to get to sacrifice their life to their people. Yeah, and to feel for everyone and be the bleeding heart of the world. Yeah. Pisces, as I said, have a real emphasis on daddy issues. The father, in classic psychoanalytical theory, the father is the influence, the impulse that helps us to differentiate and break away from mother at the appropriate time. You're too sensitive to environment and stimuli. And again, some of you are actually empaths, not all who are throwing that word around, but you certainly are all highly sensitive to environment. And don't get me wrong, of course, you can make progress, and there are, many of you're deeply courageous. Yeah. To Virgo, the organizer, the analyst. Yeah. The jobs work, as we call it in Britain, dotting every I, crossing every T, and making sure that everybody else is. And their lessons about control, self-control, and self-discipline again. Yeah. So, as I said, Blackistan would want you to as a Pisces, go into the helping, caring professions. And if you do learn the lessons from your opposite sign and you're a Virgo, the Black community will have you be the handmaiden. Yeah, the servant, Cinderella to all. So try to avoid those pitfalls. Yeah. What I wanted to say as well is, and this goes for when you find yourself cast as the persecutor and you just can't see it. It's like, what do you mean after all I've done for you? Now you're saying that, you know, I'm a vampire, or I'm an egomaniac, or I'm a narcissist, or this or that or the other. You know, why are you doing this? And you just, as Pisces, just can't see it. Who, me? I'm an empath. I'm soft. I'm sensitive. I have to protect myself from being exploited by you, because you see, all of those things may be true at different times in your life. Yeah. Now, people say that Pisces are very easygoing and accepting and forgiving. Well, no, they're not. Remember, you are becoming Pisces. So you are striving to get to a place of deep compassion, acceptance, peacefulness. Yeah. And a place where you know, it's the brotherhood of man. Yeah. But that's a very tall order. And the flip side of idealism and romanticism is actually cynicism, bitterness, a vicious response to being let down. Yeah. And Pisces knows exactly where to stick the knife in and how to draw blood, because remember, when they're in their savior mode, they're very attuned to you and how you feel and what your issues are. So there is a side of Pisces that can be extremely scathing and destructive and vampiric. Yeah, vampiric. So you need to be very careful of that. And I think the more that you embrace your inner Kronos, the more that you accept that it will never be comfortable for you and it will never feel great, but it's livable to accept reality. The more that you accept that your gifts will not go away. Pisces fears that that wonderful uniqueness, that specialness, that free spirit that can dream a dream, yeah, will die if it's boxed in by rules and regulations. But it won't. It won't burn as brightly and it won't be as fluid or as easy to access, but at least it will be able to manifest.